Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing great and getting ready for exam 2. Today in this video we will see some practice questions from lecture 15. We are going to see how we can calculate expected value and the variance of a random variable, and we will walk through these three practice questions like how to calculate expected payoff, expected return, and the variance of return. All right. Okay. So we are going to solve it in Excel sheet, which will help you to understand how we can solve this. Okay. All right. So the question is: a game of chance offers the following odds and payoffs. Each play of the game costs $100. So we have our cost $100 for each of the play, and so the net profit per play is the payoff less $100, and you are given some probability for three payoffs. So for 700 payoff, there is a 10% chance uh, to get 100 payoff. There's a 50% chance, and for there is 40% chance that you are not getting any payoff, right? So we have to calculate the expected cash payoff. So the important thing to remember is whenever you have to calculate expected something, maybe expected payoff, expected return, so you always consider the probability, right? Because you don't know the exact thing, you are just expecting based on your probability. So how can we do that? We just multiply the payoff, the outcome, the variables here, and then we multiply each of these uh, value with their associated probability, and then just we sum up, aggregate the total value to get their expected payoff. Okay, let's write what the information we have. We have probability, we have payoff, right? So the first one is 10%, we'll get 700. The second one 40. Sorry, second one 50% chance there's $100, and the probability is 40% for getting zero payoff, right? So what should be the expected payoff? That I have said that for the expectation, what we do, we just multiply this value with their associated probability, right? And then you just drag down their um, and then you sum up all this, yeah, expected payoff here to get the value, right? So that this expected payoff is your uh, the cash payoff is 120. So we can just make a notation here as dollar sign for this 120, and then we will move to the next question. Okay. Okay. So what is the next question here? Is expected return, right? Now we have to calculate the expected return, the probability and payoff. We have already our expected payoff amount. So in this question, you need to calculate expected rate of return, where you need the return value here, right? You have the probability, but you need the return value. So to get the return value, first we need to calculate what are the net profits. So here we can calculate net profit. So how can we calculate net profit? Or if we deduct expense or cost from the payoff, we can easily get the net profit, right? So for the first one, our payoff was 700 and the cost is 100 for each of the games. So we just subtract 100 from each and we get 600, and then we get 0, and then for the last one we get negative 100, right? Because there's no payoff, but you're still you have cost of $100. Next, we will calculate the return. How can we get this return? Once we have the net profit, we can just divide it by, so net profit over cost will give you the return, right? So that's how we'll get return here as 6 and 0 and -1. So this is like our fractional value. So if you want to get the percentage value here, say you want to get the percentage, so you just multiply you just multiply this value with 100, right, to get the percentage. So which means your return is 600% for probability 10%, for probability 50% is like 0, and for 40% the chance of return is negative 100%, right? So this is your percentage value here. I can write it here. Okay, so this is your percentage, and this one is your like the fractional return value, right? We can use this return fractional value, and also we can use the percentage, whatever works best for you. Anyway, so now we have a return information, we have probability. That's like similar to expected payoff. Now we can calculate expected return, right? So let's say we use the fractional value because the probability is also in fractional. So let's stick with this one. So return 6, and then we multiply with probability. Thus we have 0.06. We just write down here, and then we sum these three number. So this 0.2 is actually our expected return, right? So if you want to get the percentage, you just multiply with 100 and you will get the 20% uh, of is the expected return for this method, right? All right. In the next part, we need to calculate the variance of return. So now we know that our return is 600, where our return is 0%, and there is like negative 100% return, and there is associated probability there. So for the variance, what we do, we like make the difference, square difference from each of the return to their expected return to get the variation like from the mean, right? So in our case, our mean return is 20%, right? 0.20. And for each of the return, there is 6, 0, and 1, right? We're not taking the percentage, we're just taking the fractional value. Remember that. So the difference, if we say the difference here, so our one is 6, right? And we take the difference of this value, and we can like fix it for everything, right? And then, right, so we have this three difference, but we want to take the difference square. Say we make difference square. I'm just showing you step by step. So if you make it as a difference square, you will get 33.64, and then 0.04 and 1.44, right? So now sum up, similar to expected payoff, similar to um, like expected return, you have your the difference square here, right? Um, all right, so this 35.12, you can just add up here, or you can also multiply this with their associate probability directly, right? So the variance should be your difference and then your associate probability, right? So 3.36, we just drag down here, make the sum, and you sum all the variables here, and you get the variance 3.96. Okay, so if you multiply it with 100, you will get the percentage. Otherwise, this fractional value is your variance, right? Or I can show you like for this one, 300 into 100. So this 396% is the variance for this question, right? And you can also calculate the standard deviation if you want. So the standard deviation is like square root of this variation, right? So you just square root, say this one, and you will get uh, like 19.89. And you can also multiply by 100 just to get uh, the percentage, right? All right, so that's the whole scenario for this three step-by-step process. So uh, the expected payoff is very straightforward, but when you have to calculate return, expected return, just remember that you need to get the return value, and to get the return value you need net profit, right? So just follow the sequence, how you get the net profit, how you get the return, and then you calculate the expected return. And for the variance you need the expected return, right? Like unless you have expected return, you can't like compute the variance, because your return expected return is the benchmark from where you check the variations. All right. I hope this video will help you to understand the sequence, like how sequentially you solve this kind of question in your exam. And best of luck to your exam. Yeah, see you around.